Well, tonight at work was some kind of night. And I really wasn't feeling it because I could tell I was going to have one of those kind of nights where, one, I'm outnumbered by the majority race that's running the place. When it's more racially balanced, everything works like a team. When it's not racially balanced, it's kind of fucked up. So that's what this video is about. It's about the type of night I had this evening. And it kind of messed me up a little bit because normally on more racially balanced nights, there's several of us that finish at midnight. So we all work together to put all the groceries back that people get up to the counter and decide, oh, I don't want to buy that. Oh, I can't afford that. Oh, this is melting already. Okay, no problem. We take it back. Some stuff, if it sits too long, we definitely have to file what is called a claim. And it basically gets thrown away. And they claim it like for insurance. Other stuff, if they can get it back fast enough, get it back to a cold place or get it back to a frozen place, they'll sell that shit. That meat that you see marked yellow, the price is lower, that's because it's probably sat out for a while, and who knows how long of a while. And rumor has it that even when it's supposed to be claimed, it's still put back on the shelf. You can see that at some stores when the meat is kind of slightly turning brown in some areas. But I noticed that when it's not racially balanced, and I'm just going to throw it out there and say what it is. When the Hispanics is running the place, I'm fucked up every time. Because even if there's help, somebody else working with me that's helping me put things back. Because that last hour or so of my job is just simply, wow. Big ass roaches. But anyway, that last hour is purely me just putting stuff back. And technically, everybody on the front end, all the cash registers, are supposed to work to put things back all through the day, not just that last hour. And I didn't know that. I'm trying to clarify it because I was feeling some kind of way that toward the end of the night, and this has happened more than once, I just didn't come up with this tonight. They lollygagging, hanging out. You would think that somebody's being trained for a new position because there's two peas in a pod. The one person that's working on returns that possibly could help. At least that's how I was looking at it. But I found out that we are supposed to put our own returns back. By the end of the night, that stuff piles up of stuff that people don't want to buy. Next thing you know, well, like a night like tonight, I'm putting the stuff back completely by myself. And this one girl, even though she's Hispanic, she's married to a brother. They walked in being very unfriendly. He didn't speak, nor did she. And she normally comes in, she never speaks. But tonight, when I was complaining about how I was feeling, you could have swore I was talking to a black woman. Because she was standing up for herself, doing this and that. And I didn't hear a Hispanic woman. I heard a black woman. So I calmed down because I know this is on its way to a big ass argument. And the only way to deal with this situation is to articulate my English while documenting my experience. They don't know they're being recorded. But I'm recording their ass because they could go as a team. I'm talking to two ladies telling them how I feel about being overwhelmed and overworked. And the younger generation of employees, those are the most worthless motherfuckers ever. I made a deal with another sister, African American, probably in her early 20s, how we were going to put the stuff back before the end of the night. No sooner than I take my break and come back, her ass was gone. Just gone. I said, okay. She didn't put shit back. So I kind of feel like this generation, the group I'm working with is shit. And you can't depend on them. The people that look like me, I can't even depend on. What the fuck is that? It's funny because a guy closer to my age, he was complaining and saying, you think these motherfuckers would try to work to become supervisors? Because this is a place where you can do that. You can become a supervisor. But I don't want to stay there long enough to be nothing but gone. And as I was in the office talking to the two ladies, I could see how they didn't feel me or my pain at all. And that makes me feel some kind of way. That when I first said I needed to talk to who's running the store, the front end, she called her directly. She called her. Spoke in Spanish. When that lady came, she had a smirk on her face. Like she was influenced by the other Hispanic woman who's married to the black man. And they proceeded to have the conversation with me in front of everybody. And I said, no, let's go to the office. So we went into the office. After talking about everything, I brought that up. I said, I felt some kind of way that you had to call her. We all speak English, but you call her and speak in Spanish. Oh, well, I didn't want everybody to know what we were talking about. Well, they didn't have no problem trying to front me in front of the employee, the one that ditched me for helping me with the job that I guess she feels like I need to do that by myself. She's just there to be a cash register and that's it. I felt some kind of way about that too. But rather than go to somebody over our heads and talk about it, I deal with people one-on-one. I will be telling her how I felt about that. Whether she like it or not, I don't give a fuck. And it's sad because we won't be able, as black people, to depend on our own people, especially the younger generation with their young, non-working ass. It's sad. And what if we did have a movement, something, how much can we depend on them to move? Not too much. Because they're doing bare minimum, even for themselves. Bare minimum. So anyway, when the third Hispanic woman came in, she felt my pain. And she understood how I was feeling. And she said, there's only so much you're going to be able to do. Then leave that shit. She didn't say leave that shit. But she said, then leave it. But before she came in there, these two others was telling me how you got to put everything back. You got to do this and you got to do that. And I wasn't going to do it anyway. I don't give a fuck. All I was going to do was what my time tells me to do. That's the time I clock in and about the time I clock out. And I focused on groceries and I put that shit back. And that's it. And I don't give a damn how they feel about it. But I did notice that they came, one of them took some of the stuff out of that basket and relieved me of some of those things that I had to put back. Now, this is how I want to finish this. I don't want to talk about them anymore. When you shop any store, don't put your hands on the first item that you see that you might want. You move that one and take the stuff behind it. You're most likely to get something that is not dirty and that has not had to sit for a long period of time waiting for somebody to put it back so it could be sold. If something has been sitting for a long period of time and went through several hands, the person that originally put it up on the shelf, the person that carried it up to the counter but didn't pay for it, the person that took it from that person and put it in another place. Who knows how many hands touched it before it finally got put back up on that shelf. Put that shit, move that shit and get the stuff in the back. Never take the first item. That's the one thing that I've learned about shopping. When you go into a store, take something to lay in your basket. If you're going to bring a baby and set the baby in the front part of the basket, bring something to set your baby on. Because people bring dogs with a raw ass to sit in those baskets. Yeah. Then you go home, and if it's your child that sat behind them and their skin touched an area that the dog's butt was sitting, that's potential germs, because that little flap that sits back, that's plastic. That's going to hold germs. The metal, I'm not sure. But I would highly recommend not sitting your groceries, meat, whatever, in a basket where a dog's ass been sitting. And people do that a lot around here. So that's my advice for shopping in stores. But furthermore, if you're going to live in a community where you are outnumbered, go learn those folks' language. And that's what I got to do next. I got to learn them folks' language. Because I don't like being outnumbered and outduped and out everything. That sucks. But I am working on my book, editing it, and it will be called How I Killed My Family. I made a mistake. It's not how I killed my family or my whole family. It's I killed my family, or I killed my whole family. It'll be in print soon. But a helicopter just flew overhead, and I'm like, it's just Monday night, and they looking for somebody. Ooh, there's something running around up there. I gotta get my knife out. Shit. This neighborhood. I don't know if it's a cat or a dog, but I'm ready. But look out for my book. I killed my whole family.